Hey, you're listening to episode 3 of The Employer's Emphasis. I'm your host, Adam Varahachaikol with Employers, America's small business insurance specialist. And if this is your first time listening to our podcast, welcome and thank you. We feature all kinds of content, from interviews with people not only from employers, but others within the insurance industry, and great nonprofit organizations we support. We'll also have episodes dedicated to offering tips and resources to small business owners in various industries. In this episode, we feature a great nonprofit organization in Annapolis, Maryland, the Light House Bistro, which gives people with employment barriers the opportunity to learn while developing a resume and earning a living wage. Now, I had the chance to talk with Light House Bistro when I was attending the 2019 Employers East Region Sales Team Mid-Year Meeting. The folks at Light House Bistro were a great host for our team building event, and as you'll learn in a bit, the Employers sales team picked Light House Bistro as a venue because of their amazing story and how important this organization is for the Annapolis area. This place is so fascinating, and I learned a ton of great things and really can't wait for you to listen to my conversations. But before we get to our spotlight on Light House Bistro, did you know that Employers is a proud national sponsor of Kids Chance of America? It's another great organization we support. Kids Chance provides children of severely injured or deceased workers post-secondary scholarships to give them the opportunity to pursue their educational dreams without financial burden. Children of these injured or deceased workers can no longer count on income from an injured or deceased parent. And along with the grief of loss or needing to help care for the injured parent, these kids are also unlikely to be able to afford a college education. There are Kids Chance chapters throughout the United States, so for more information about this great organization, go to kidschance.org, and to find a local Kids Chance chapter on the website, click on the State Organizations tab and click on Find Your Kids Chance. We'll be highlighting Kids Chance more in depth in a future episode of The Employer's Emphasis, so stay tuned. Now, without further ado, here is our spotlight on the great organization that does so much for the Annapolis, Maryland community, Light House Bistro. Something people probably want to know about Light House Bistro is the kind of food it offers, and Marie Friedland, its catering manager, began by summing it up in 2 words.
Good food. Fresh. Everything's fresh. We have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and brunch on the weekends. Our brunch is very popular. Annapolis is a very brunch kind of town. Fresh salads. We have everything from meat eaters, dairy-free, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, so we source everybody. We can please everybody.
But Light House Bistro is more than just good food. Friedland says it's also changing lives one meal at a time.
Light House Bistro is about lots of really good things. We are a social enterprise, and the definition of a social enterprise is an entity that sells goods to support a nonprofit. So our profits in turn go back to the Lighthouse Homeless Prevention Center, which is down the road. It used to be housed here in 1989. A bunch of local churches started it. They saw a need in the community to help the homeless. And so this shelter was here until 2016. And they moved down the road, and they have a very large facility there for the homeless. And then it was recognized that homeless people don't just need a hand out, they need a foot up. They need to come out of that homeless situation and be able to be marketable to get jobs so that they can pay rent, pay gas, buy food for themselves, and live a normal life. We also offer wraparound services for people that need them for mental health issues or social rehab, alcohol and drug rehab, housing. We offer free bus passes, so for those that don't have cars, they can have transportation so they can get to their jobs. A very important thing, if you have a job, you have to show up. So to offer them a means to get to a job is an important connection, another link that was missing before.
In 2012, the Light House started a workforce development program known as BEST, which is an acronym for Building Employment Success Training, to teach skills in culinary arts and facilities maintenance.
Marketing them, the graduates, to restaurants because restaurant skills are marketable and employable. The vision came around to the bistro. We were training people to work in restaurants. Let's open up a restaurant. So through some major fundraising and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a lot of donors that are noted on our walls, we opened up 2 years ago, February 26th.
Light House Bistro provides much-needed jobs and job training to give people the chance to be independent, including Tallulah Alacio and Ryan Warnick, as you'll hear respectively.
Growing up throughout my life, I always liked waiting tables. It was funny, my parents both started out that way, and they always told me not to get into it because they knew the type of just kind of world it is and how there's drugs are prominent in it. And so when I got clean, I didn't want to work in restaurants anymore, so I started working for my dad. And then I had a friend here who no longer works here, but she said they were looking for a pickup server, and I thought, okay, I can get back into serving, which I love to do, but I can also not have to worry about drugs, alcohol, things like that going around because of the type of restaurant it is. So that's how I started here.
I was actually incarcerated for a drug-related offense. I do struggle with addiction. As of now, I've been clean since February 2nd, 2017. I was released directly from the jail to Light House Shelter, where I came down here with nothing but the clothes on my back, essentially. I spoke to Chef Beth Rocca, who's the general manager now, and she started me right away in the dish room. Started washing dishes and eventually bussing tables and then serving tables. So just gradually moving on up.
Some people who come in to eat at Light House Bistro are unaware of the great things it's doing for the Annapolis community.
Super busy, grabbing food, grabbing drinks, telling people our stories, telling them how the place works, because a lot of people actually come here not knowing anything about it. So you have a lot of shocked faces knowing that they're not only getting a good meal and spending money, but they're helping the community. This place allows the outsiders who might have a stigma against addiction understand that we're all normal people. We all come from the same probably background that they did, and it happens to anyone and allows them to see that we're not horrible people, but we're just hard workers trying to do the same thing they're doing.
As I first mentioned in this episode, Employers held its 2019 East Sales Team mid-year meeting in Annapolis and was so honored to support Light House Bistro, as we hear from Jamie Stern, Employers Field Engagement Development Manager and a planner for the event.
Planning the event, I wanted to do something that would bring something back to the community, and when I read about their story and their nonprofit and they help people out of homeless shelters and addiction, I just thought that was such a perfect corporate event. So we're spending our money somewhere to bring our sales team here for really very good meetings and a really great learning experience. I thought, why not give back to the community as well? So the more I read about it, the more I talked with Marie, the more passionate I felt that we could really do something with it.
And there was nothing but positive feedback from all the attendees who loved the food, the service, and its mission statement, as we'll hear from Ashley Mankey.
It's wonderful that they are allowing, people in the community to better their lives, support their families. It's a great program. I'm really thrilled to be part of coming to this establishment.
And as you can imagine, Light House Bistro has changed the lives of many of its workers.
It's not even just a restaurant job or a place of employment, it's like a family here. Like, I've made friends and friendships that I would have never made elsewhere, and it's like a family. It's a cool place.
I really enjoy the humans here that I work with and their stories and their ability to step up because they've been giving opportunities here.
For me personally, I've went back to school. I'm in college. I'm going to school for radiology tech, and I'm just trying my best to keep pushing forward and get past everything that I've been through.
To learn more about Light House Bistro, go to their website at lighthousebistro.org. That's lighthousebistro.org. And if you're in Annapolis and want to have some of their great food, they're on 202 West Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401. Thank you so much for listening to this edition of The Employer's Emphasis. If you like the podcast, we'd love for you to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcasting app, whether it's Podbean or Podcast Server, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or Spotify. And that way you'll be notified every time a new episode is uploaded. Before we go, be sure to head to our website at employers.com, where you can find small business tips, resources, and request a workers' compensation insurance quote, Also follow Employers on social media on Facebook by searching Employers, America's Small Business Insurance Specialist. We're on Twitter and Instagram at the handle @employers_ins. Search Employers on LinkedIn. And on YouTube, our channel is at Employers Video, all one word. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Adam Varahachaikol with the Employers Emphasis, and we'll catch you next time.